Students, today we shall going to discuss with reference to the main important features of central dogma. It is also designated as central dogma of molecular biology or central dogma of protein synthesis. Central dogma of protein synthesis. As you already knows that the DNA is present in the nucleus of the cell. The DNA is present in the nucleus of the cell. The DNA present in the nucleus of the cell, it directs the protein synthesis which occurs in the cytoplasm. The DNA is present in the nucleus. In the cytoplasm, you can find the presence of a unique non-membranous organelle called ribosomes. The ribosomes, they take part in the protein synthesis. In a valid terminology, the central dogma of molecular biology is defined as the one-way flow of genetic information from DNA to mRNA and from mRNA to protein synthesis is called central dogma of molecular biology. The concept of central dogma was discovered by Francis Crick. In a valid terminology, it is also designated as the one-way flow of genetic information from DNA to mRNA. The phenomenon of transcription takes place in the nucleus. The mRNA, it directs the ribosomes to take part in protein synthesis. The phenomenon of protein synthesis takes place in the cytoplasm through translation. Naturally, in case of all living organisms, you can find the presence of central dogma of molecular biology in order to take part in protein synthesis. In certain viruses, some of the important retroviruses, namely tobacco mosaic virus, and in case of human immunovirus HIV, you can find the presence of central dogma reverse. The concept of central dogma of reverse was put forwarded by Temin and Baltimore. In some viruses, the flow of information is in the reverse direction. That is from RNA to DNA. This unique phenomenon is called central dogma of reverse through a process called reverse transcription. As I earlier said, this unique concept was discovered by Temin and Baltimore in the year 1970. The next important aspect is with reference to forms of DNA. The DNA is of three important types, namely circular DNA, second one is linear DNA, and the last one is called palindromic DNA. The first important one is called circular DNA. Naturally, you can find the presence of circular DNA in majority of the living organisms. It is a double-stranded DNA in which the free ends are fused covalently. It is a double-stranded DNA in which the free ends are fused covalently. This type of DNA is present in case of both prokaryotes and also in case of eukaryotes. You can find the presence of circular DNA. In case of prokaryotes, with reference to bacteria, you can find the presence of circular double-stranded DNA. That circular double-stranded DNA will replicate autonomously. Such a type of extracircular double-stranded DNA is called plasmid. In case of Agrobacterium tumefacius, you can find the presence of a plasmid. The name of the plasmid is called Ti plasmid. Ti refers to tumor-inducing plasmid. It is a type of circular DNA. Not only in case of prokaryotes, during the course of evolution, from the prokaryotes, the circular DNA is transferred to eukaryotes, namely to the two semi-autonomous organelles, namely mitochondria and chloroplast. In both mitochondria and in the chloroplast, you can find the presence of circular DNA. If the circular DNA found in the mitochondria, the DNA is called mitochondrial DNA. If the DNA found in the chloroplast, called chloroplast DNA. The second important one is linear DNA. It is popularly designated as genetic DNA. It is a double-stranded helically coiled elongated linear DNA with free ends. This type of DNA is present in all eukaryotes. It is a double-stranded helically coiled elongated linear DNA with free ends. This type of DNA is present in case of all living organisms. There are 5 important types of linear DNA, namely aDNA, bDNA, cDNA, ddNA, and the last one is called zDNA. A refers to alternate DNA. It is a right-handedly helical coiled DNA. Containing 11 base pairs. The second one is called bDNA. It is called balanced DNA. It is also right-handedly helical coiled DNA, contains 10 base pairs in a single turn. It is naturally occurring DNA present in all living organisms. The third one is called cDNA. It is also a right-handedly helical coiled DNA produced from the RNA through reverse transcription. It contains 9 base pairs. The next important one is called ddNA. It is also right-handedly helically coiled DNA, contains 8 base pairs. The last important type of linear DNA is called zDNA or zigzag DNA. It is left-handedly helically coiled DNA, contains 12 base pairs. In the length of the single turn, it normally measures 45 Armstrongs in length. It is said to be the artificially synthesized DNA. artificially synthesized DNA. Here, the nucleotides are arranged in zigzag manner. The nucleotides are arranged in zigzag manner. Because of the zigzag arrangement of the nucleotides, the zDNA is popularly designated as zigzag DNA. Popularly designated as zigzag DNA. Hence it is called zDNA. Hence it is called zDNA. The third important type of DNA is called palindromic DNA. It is a type of DNA in which the nucleotide sequence. It is a type of DNA in which the nucleotide sequence reads same in the opposite direction. In case of GATC, if you observe the complementary nucleotides from 5' to 3', you can find the presence of same nucleotide sequence in the opposite direction. Same nucleotide sequence in the opposite direction. This palindromic DNA is the site for the insertion and also for breaking the DNA segment. This palindromic DNA is very useful in the recombinant DNA technology. It is also designated as reverse repeats. It is also designated as reverse repeats. The next important aspect in this chapter is called functions of DNA. DNA is the genetic material which carries all the hereditary information. The genetic information is coded in the arrangement of nitrogenous bases. The complete genetic information is stored in the nitrogenous bases. It undergoes replication for transformation of genetic information from one cell to another cell to the daughter cell, and from one generation to the next generation. The DNA exhibits the phenomenon of DNA replication. The next important function is it undergoes mutation to induce variation, and also it is the basis of evolution. Mutation is the raw material for evolution. Through autocatalytic function, it exhibits DNA replication. It exhibits DNA replication. In addition to the autocatalytic property of DNA, through heterocatalytic property of DNA, the DNA will act as a master molecule in the biosynthesis of all the three important types of non-genetic RNA, namely messenger, transfer and ribosomal RNA. Through heterocatalytic activity, it takes part in the process of transcription and for the biosynthesis of different types of non-genetic RNA. DNA is chemically and it is structurally very stable in nature. DNA is chemically and structurally very stable in nature. It provides scope for slow changes that are required for evolution. It provides scope for slow changes that are required for evolution. It controls all the metabolic activities of the cell through RNA, protein, and hormone synthesis, and also used in DNA fingerprinting. In the next class, we will going to discuss with reference to packing of DNA helix. Packing of DNA helix. Thank you. Thank you very much.